Hi there. Welcome to this week's episode of the podcast with me, Russell Davis. I was reading a book the other day and one sentence really jumped out. It was, if so, are you willing to look and have the courage to listen? And the phrase, the courage to listen, really jumped out and spoke to me. And when I reflect on it, I really saw how much in my life having the courage to listen has really changed my life in so many ways. And I think that's what I do for my clients, give them the courage to listen. Let's unpack what I mean by that and what the gift is for us when we do that. I was reading a book recently. It was Second Chance by Sydney Banks. And some words jumped out of the page. And it was a character saying to the other character, are you willing to look and have courage to listen? Are you willing to look and have the courage to listen? And that phrase, the courage to listen, really jumped out. The courage to listen. It really spoke to me because I think sometimes we want answers, but we don't have the courage to really listen to the truth. I think sometimes we're listening to reinforce what we think we know, or to find out something we don't know becomes quite an intellectual experience or intellectual process. But I think it takes courage to listen with an open heart. I think it takes courage to listen with an open heart, to hear something beyond the words, to open our heart, to be vulnerable. One of my mentors used to be an NLP trainer, one of the world's experts in NLP and language patterns, and he was a masterful at language patterns, masterful. He once had a session with a psychologist, and the psychologist said to him that, I don't think you're a good listener. And Jamie thought, you don't understand, I'm world renowned for my listening, like language patterns people don't pick up on. And he was saying, that's just it. You're listening for language patterns, you're listening to know what to say next, what process to use or what to do. You're not actually being fully present and listening with your heart. And I didn't realize how much I lived in my head and was engaging in life through my thinking, not my heart. It was a protection mechanism. It kept me safe from being vulnerable. You need to be brave to open your heart to life, to love, to receiving, to giving, receiving love. And it takes courage because, when you open your heart, you could get hurt. You could get hurt. I used to joke with my coach that every one-to-one session I had with him, before I worked with him regularly, I'd either swear at him or cry. Because it helped me see something I wasn't recognizing in myself. And sometimes I swear because he's pointed something I don't really want to see. There's light shining in something I wasn't fully aware of, and it felt uncomfortable. But I'm glad I had the courage to listen, to see that, because those conversations were life-changing. Do we have the courage to listen? Can we let go of what we think we know or don't know to open our heart to hearing something even deeper? And I think it's our addiction to knowing, to navigating life through thinking, stops us opening our heart to something deeper, being curious. I think it's about listening with a beginner's mind. unfiltered, opening to new possibilities. It's a bit like a child, toddler. Imagine a toddler crawling around this world. Most of it's just unknown. They have a beginner's mind, curious. This sense of curiosity that opens them up to life, to possibility, to learning and growing. Deep down, they know they're okay. Whatever happens, I think we come into the world more connected to our innate well-being. We have less contaminated thinking that drowns it out, that points us in the wrong direction. But that sense of innate well-being, okayness, is always within us. Always within us. It's who we are. It's our essence. It's the still soft flute playing in the background that's drowned out by the brass band of contaminated thinking, insecure thoughts and feelings and judgments and all sorts of things we pick up along the way. I think babies and toddlers are more connected to our pure self, our true self. Less noise. And they're more okay with not knowing. They have more of a beginner's mind. Their heart is more open. Be curious. What if we could have more of a beginner's mind? Let go of what we think we know. Be more alive and present to what's in this moment. Having something deeper. Our instinct, our intuition, that sometimes feels uncomfortable. But being okay with that. Because what if in that discomfort, there's a gift? Psychiatrist Bill Pettit says that everything is a love letter from our soul. Everything we experience is a love letter from our soul. What if that discomfort is a love letter from our soul? That's guiding us, leading us in love to come out of our comfort zone, to let go of a layer of protection that we think's been serving us, but it's preventing us from really engaging in life, to preventing us from really opening our heart to receive, to be, to live our true self and the possibility that comes from that space. What if we had the courage to listen to our true self? The little voice within prompting us. It took courage to listen to my voice. I ignored it for some time. That was calling me to leave my corporate career. That felt safe, familiar, easy. It was ticked all the boxes. Family on the way. My wife was pregnant. This little calling, this little itch was getting stronger. And thank God I took the courage to honour that. Life would have probably been easier if I stayed, to be honest. Owning your own business, being self-employed is, ups and downs. It's much easier to be employed in many ways. But I think I would have died inside in some way. My soul would have been unhappy. I'd have been drifting. I'm not sure that's the lesson I want to teach my son. You just have to drift in life. Just get a sensible job and just do the 9 to 5. I want him to follow his heart, his passions, his desires. So I took courage. And each time I step out in courage, it tends to be something I don't regret. Every time I speak my truth in love and in courage, despite how uncomfortable it feels in the moment, it tends to create connection. It tends to feel like I'm honouring my truth. I live life with less regrets that way. What if you had the courage to listen to your heart, the little voice within, your soul, your heart's desires? Loving you.